your Tai Chi twist. So this could be mostly your arms and shoulders. Could be your pelvis starting your twist. Could be your feet. We just did all that good feet stuff. You could rock side to side, or you might even roll over onto the top of one foot. So this is, if all you did in the morning or before bed was this twisty move once a day, this would be a huge success as far as getting everything moving. You could turn and look over your shoulder. You could soften your knees or one knee. You could lean a little bit more into one hip. Okay. So now a roller if you want to have a little balance, buddy, for sure. Always a good idea. Find a comfortable wide squat position. So that might not look exactly how my feet look. Do a couple of these. And then we'll do maybe floating arm up and down if that is of interest to you today, or whatever you want to do with your arm. You could hold your arm straight out to the side. Wide squat, also known as grand plie, second position. So we're lubing up hip joint, knees, breathing. Now go back to that foot thing we were doing earlier. Spread out your toes, mash down, big toe, pinky toe, heel. You can get space between each toe. Nice. And then we'll hold at the bottom of this next one, whatever feels like a comfortable position. Big old side bend, stretch. So we're going to do all this stuff on the one side and then switch. So what am I doing? It looks like my left hand is doing my big side bend. Inhale into the sides of your ribs and waist and shoulder. And then come on up and we got our parallel squat, possibly arm or arms out in front. I'll turn to the side to show. Or you could bring your arms overhead. You can decide how low you're going today. Could be a little demi squat. If you get nice and low, you can feel the big old stretch for the backs of your ankles, calves. And then come on up to stand up right, and we'll do front and back upper body stretch. Lean back just a smidge. And then tuck your chin, round your upper body. This is kind of like the top third of your cat and cow. Inhale, stretch. Maybe look back if that feels okay on your neck. One more of these guys each way. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now we're going to do our little piece of pizza move. Feet together. Use your perky butt muscles to open to your little V. That's my little V. Slide your toes back together. See if you can relax your toes as you open to your V. Back to parallel. So notice if your toes want to fly up, and you keep them on the ground. And you might need to come off to the carpet if you're on a sticky mat for this one. A couple more of these guys. So sliding your feet without lifting them. That's hard to do. Slide rather than lift. Now that tells you where your good amount of turnout is for this next move. So whatever feels like a comfortable V. Then I'm going to step my left foot forward. Here's your fourth position. Bend and straighten. Now this might be teeny tiny to start with. Bend and straighten. See if you can keep your weight even between front and back legs. Notice if your hips want to sit to one side. What does that take to keep yourself right in that center seam? Then you can start to play with going down lower, maybe lifting your heels. Heels mashing down. Stand up. Lower, maybe lifting your heels. Heels mash down and stand up. Maybe the arms coming in and out. If this is too much arm business, you can just have your hand on your hip. So we're working external rotation. both legs, both hips. Trying to keep hips squared. So this leg might want to kind of wuss out, or it might bring your torso around. So I gotta work to keep everybody facing front. Last one. Yeah, now you can either stay here in your little demi plie and do your big circle. If this is too crazy balance-wise, stand up. So that would look like this. Straight legs, big circle. We'll do a couple each way. Inhale. Exhale. Now you can do some with bent knees, some with straight legs. How much movement can you get in your upper body? One more circle each way. Okay, now we got that whole thing on the other side. Shake your legs, get a sip of water. Okay. Second side, comfortable wide position. Maybe do a couple little demis and see, does that feel like a good spot for your feet? Do you need to turn them in, turn them out? Maybe adding the arm. Yep, and you can always go faster or slower than what I'm showing. Balance, buddy, if you need it. If you don't need it, you can have both arms either out to the side or floating your arms up. Big inhale. Big exhale. So see how comfortably low you can go on this wide squat where it feels like work. No pain in your knees. We'll go back to your feet one more time. Can you spread your toes? Can you mash your big toe, pinky toe, heel? Now we'll hold this next one and do our little side bend. Big stretch. Oh, that feels good on that side. Side bend. Nice work, ladies. You can let your head tilt. Last one. Now let's try a little bonus round here. Come up to arms out. See if you can tap your heels in that squat position. Woo! Lift and lower. And lift and lower. So how high can you lift your heels? Staying in your squat. Let's do 4 more. Controlling your heels coming up. Controlling them coming down. Nice work. Come on up back to parallel squat. Option to do arms out in front or arm overhead. So this one you can be a little more pitched forward. Like so. Parallel squat. I'm just showing this whole thing hanging on to my little balance buddy, but you could do both hands. Like so. Let's do these guys. And then come on up, stand up nice and tall. We got our back and front. You're like a little reed at the edge of the lake, a bendable, flexible reed. Inhale. Exhale. Let your back round. Lift your chest. Last one. And then come back. We'll do our bonus round here as well. Sit back in your parallel squat. Maybe hands on your hips or hands in front. Lift and lower your heels. Just 10. 2. 3. Oh, that's hard to balance. 4. 5. 6. Press right up over your big toes. 7. 8. 9. Last one. Ooh, come on up to your piece of pizza. Parallel feet. And turn out. And parallel. And turn out. Try again. Sliding your toes rather than picking them up. Parallel. And turn out. Look at Winter. And turn out. Okay, now we got sliding your right foot forward over your second side is. And here's our little fourth position. So do a small version. See if you're really squared to the front. Kathy, you missed it on Wednesday. Winter was sacked out the whole class. She was just like, she'd been home playing with Pat all day. She didn't move. She didn't even twitch. Yep, now you can add this little piece where you do lift your heel. Ooh, Lower your heels. Stand up. Plie. Lift your heels. Lower your heels and stand up. Maybe add an arm. Play with your depth here. We're going for no knee pain. It should feel like a lot of work in your butt to keep your knees turned out. Yeah, it doesn't have to look like mine. And you can always take a little rest break. Last one. Now you decide how you're doing your circle. You might stay here, bent knee. Big old circle, up and around. We'll do some each way. Up and around. You can do this whole thing with straight legs. Let your shoulder blades slide around on your ribs. Let your head move. Yeah, one more each way. Circle. And circle. Okay, now we got our calf raise. Let's do this with your weights. So you're going to grab up your weights. And with legs together, I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see. Here's what I'm trying to avoid doing is this forward and back movement or this action where my ankle comes out to the side. So again, firm everything up, mash into your feet, strengthen your arms and legs. So my arms and legs are tight. I'm pushing my head up to the ceiling and then my heels lift straight up and straight down. So if you do notice that ankle wobbling out to the side, go grab your block or your squishy ball and squeeze it between your legs. And here's what I mean. I want my big toes staying together. And it's like there's a magnetic pull between my ankles, squeezing them towards each other. And I'm controlling my descent. And down with control. This is one of those deceptively difficult moves. It doesn't look like much. Yep. Trying to control and then down. Let's do 5 more. Straight up. Straight down. Straight knees. Wide shoulders. So this is one of your June 5. Last 2. Half raise or releve, as it's called in ballet land. Okay, let's do our step up. Now, same thing here. We're going to work on this version today. Not swinging your arms. So you could do that. You could turn this into like a bicep curl or an arm thing. But for this version today, I'm just going to say what I'm doing. I'm going to step my left foot on my block, firm up my arms. I've got a hold of my weights, my heavier of my 2 weight options. Step up. Maybe you lift your right knee up to like 90-ish and then step back. So the first round, you might do a slow, tiny version. You could step up and step way back into more of a long lunge. If you can pause at the top for just a sec. So I've got arms really firm next to me. Going nice and slow. I can control this movement. Oh, sort of. Let's see, last 4. Maybe you bring your leg up to 90. And Sasha, watch this and make sure you're stepping way back so that your knee stays over your toe. Yeah. What did I say? 2 more. Yeah. Last one. So if you have healthy knees, this action isn't bad to do that. In fact, it's a good way to stretch out your ankle. But I'm excited. My lowest common denominator is if you've got pain in your knees, right? Okay, side number 2. Plant your right foot. Step up. Pause just for a sec. Get organized. Wide shoulders. Step back. Could be a tiny little slow-mo step back. Lift and hold. And you could go faster than this. This could be a real low lunge. Maybe you step way back into like your crescent lunge. So find a way to do this. It feels like a good version for you today. My focus is pushing down into my block. As I go to step up, pause and just for a second. If you were doing this as a cardio interval, you could go fast. You could go up and down and up and down and up and down. Our focus today is not swinging your weights. Last one of these. So we're going a little slower. Good. Job. Okay, now you can actually keep your weights and we'll do our deadlift with weights. So we did this on Wednesday with the band, the single leg deadlift. Now I'm going to keep my weights, again, kind of snuggled up close to my body. All of my weight in my left leg. And as I tilt, my right leg goes back. So I'm like a little piece of toast. So that's version 1. If you feel like you can keep your shoulders organized to let your weights come out in front of you, this is where we're headed eventually, is letting your weights hang down. But go real slow and make sure you're not rounding your shoulders to get your weight to the ground. So I'm using my back muscles, back of my armpits, hamstrings, both legs. I'm mashing down into my standing foot. So eventually this is replicating like how you would pick up a heavy object. We worked on both feet on the ground deadlift last month. So we're working up to where this is a heavy thing that you're picking up. But we got to start somewhere. So you might start with 5s or 8s. Hopefully by the end of the month, you've worked up to whatever your heaviest weights are for this one. Last 2. Last one. So that's your single leg deadlift. That's 3 of our 5 right in a row. I'm going to turn to the front for this next round just so you can see what my back leg is doing. I've switched sides. Now I'm standing on my right leg. Left leg goes back. So if you're not sure about what to do with your arms, squeeze your arms to your sides and make this a really tiny little teeter-totter. It doesn't have to be very far back with your leg. If you're like, no, I can play with the shoulder movement. You could let your arms hang down in front of you. Wide collarbones. Stand up. Good. See if you can organize everything so that as your leg comes down, your torso comes up. All in one piece. And then you might pause and just double check that these back toes are pointing straight down at the ground. That means you're in that really parallel position, which is a lot harder for your pelvis to stabilize than doing this. Yeah, last 2. 1. Okay, was one side easier than the other on that single leg deadlift? Probably. Grab up your band and we got our little side step move. So I'll give you, actually I'm going to move everything off my mat. Clear your little area for this one because we're going to boogie left and right. And I'm going to give you a couple versions, 3 versions of this one today. So I'm going to start by standing on my band. And then you can figure out how much resistance to give yourself and how far away to put your feet as we do a couple of practice runs. So you can stand up nice and tall, straight knees, start stepping down the length of your band. So not a very big step. Yeah, Nikki's using her loopy band. You could put loop band around your legs if you prefer that one. The hard part about this is not moving your torso, not twisting or tilting. Yeah. And then that second side, see if you can control the second side coming in without smacking that leg in. Now, when you run out of room, you just go back the other way. Step out and in and out. So I'm holding onto my band here with my elbows a little bit bent, but I'm not doing, it's not a major upper body thing. It's mostly these lateral hip muscles working. And breathe. Yep. So once you've made your way down and back, you could keep doing that same variation. That could be what you do for this whole series. If you want to try my next little version, you could bend your knees, sit in that parallel squat. Step out, still parallel, knees over your toes. Second leg comes in. First leg steps out. So I'm kind of staying in that, like your chair pose from yoga. If you were in the basement with a really low ceiling, you don't want to bonk your head on the ceiling. Nice. I'm about to run out of room. I got room for 2 more. Parallel legs. When you run out of room, you just go back the other way. Now I'm at the front edge of my yoga mat. I like doing that version because then I can track my little toes Sometimes when we do this move, we'll kind of boogie towards the diagonal. I'm trying to go right straight out to the side. And breathe. So this should feel like a butt burner now that we've done 2 rounds. Down and back we did. Okay, we got to do our stepping over the baby gate. If you want to hold your roller or your chair for this one, you certainly may. I'm going to stand on my right. Left leg is my moving leg. I bend my knee, lift my leg to the front. And I swing my leg out to the side. There's my imaginary doggy gate, baby gate. My heel goes up, my knee goes up. I'm trying to keep all of this really firm. I go all the way around back behind me and then bring my knees together. This is a big old hip circle. Leg goes back, up and around. Swing your ankle over the doggy gate. Good. So we'll keep boogieing. You can go faster or slower than me. I'm going to go leg up, leg around. This time you might even be able to bring your leg back behind you and tap the ground. So this is a variation on our little curtsy squat. Leg up and over your baby gate. Come down. Yep. 2 more of these guys, up and over. So I like to have something to hold for this one, and I don't have to worry so much about my balance. If this piece is throwing you, take out the curtsy squat part. Good. Up and over. That's my stickiest spot, is that back corner. You could even cross your leg over to the front. This is kind of like your eagle legs in yoga. What did I say? 2 more? Now I've lost count. We better do 2 more. Up and around. Don't cheat that little sticky spot in the back. Lift up and over, trying to keep your torso really upright. Here comes your last one. Up and over. In the back, you might just do this part. Parallel. Up and over. Ooh, so that's work. Mostly for this hip. I'm trying to improve that range in the hip. But yeah, your standing leg too, having to work like crazy. Okay, we better do side number 2, and then we'll take a break for legs and do some upper body. Second side, firm up your standing leg. Lift this front knee, swing your leg out to the side. Now I lift my ankle to get up and over my imaginary object. Now I do want to make sure my leg goes back, 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 back. Ooh, and then knees together. So this version, I'm trying to keep my torso pretty upright. And then back and to the side. That's where I feel that little pinch in the back of my butt. You want that muscle working. Yeah. And then front, side, lift your ankle. Get all the way around behind you. Don't just cheat and go, make sure you get in that old back corner. That to me is the hardest part. Oh, my hamstring almost feels crampy doing this. Back and side, and lift your ankle and lift your knee. Now we can start to play with this coming across move. So you might even cross your ankle over, lift up to the front, to the side, lift your ankle. Now I'm in the back, all the way back, like you're trying to touch the back wall with your knee. Maybe you add your little curtsy squat here. Yeah. Come up into the back. Ooh, into the side. And my knee's bent the whole time, about 90-ish. Maybe adding your little coming across. If any of this feels like too much, go back to that very first thing we did. I'm going to do 2 more, up and over, around into the back. Lift up, lift the top of your head. Maybe your little curtsy squat. Up and to the back. Push your leg back, 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 and up and over the corner. Ooh. Last one. Up and around. Oh boy. So this side on me is my goofier, tighter hip. And this definitely feels different on this side. All the way back and to the side. And up and around. Okay, if you weren't warm from doing all that other stuff, that one makes me sweat. Like that feels like a lot of hard work. Yeah. What do you think? Okay, we got our curl series. I'm going to see if we can't do this 3 times through. Oh yeah, we got time. So I'm going to start with my lighter weight, but then I'll give you some options for lighter and heavier. With this first one, I'm going to do lighter. And you decide how much of a squat you're doing. We did a bunch of squats earlier. You might be able to get low enough to rest your elbows on your legs. And then I'm pushing down into my heels real hard as I stand up and do my little overhead press. So my hands disappear in the screen, but that's okay. You know what I'm doing. Come down, maybe tap your elbows. And press. We're just going to do 10 of each of these guys. So it's basically a little variation on your bicep curl and your overhead press. What's that? 3, 4, 5. This one too is a little bit of a coordination effort. See if you can straighten your arms and legs at the same time. Push into your heels. Last 2. Last one. Nice work, ladies. Let's go side raise. Go with your light weight. Easy does it. This feels like too much. You can bend your elbows. 2, 3. Go back to that feeling of you're a piece of rebar from your head to your heels. Push your head to the ceiling. Push your feet down. Nice. Last 3. Tiny-ish weights. Last 2. Last one. Very nice, ladies. I'm going to switch to my heavier for this lateral bicep curl, which looks like this. I'm just a little bit out to the side, and I could be in a little bit of a bent knee position. So what am I at? 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock-ish curl. Yep. 3. 4. Controlling your weight coming down. You can always change your mind and go heavier or lighter. 6, 7, 8. Take a big deep breath. 9. Last one. Now what are we doing next? I think I'm going to my lighter weights. Yeah, I'm going to go back to my lighter weights and do my squat and punch. So I'm just going to keep switching my weights. Now I'm in a pretty deep squat. Elbows in close. Left arm punches. Right elbow comes back. Right arm punches. Left elbow comes back. You could do a little twist. You could look back at your back elbow. Breathe. This one you can go fast or slow. Last one. Good. Now we go on tricep. You decide if you want to keep your tiny weights or go back to your heavier. Straight arms and then bend your elbows. Yep. And straight and bend. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last in our little series, we have a little fly. So this could be a little bend and straighten your knees. I've got beetle bug arms, meaning my elbows are slightly bent. And I'm lifting my arm by squeezing my shoulder blades in the back. This is back of my shoulder I'm working. 3 to go. 2, arms are right straight out to the side. Last one. Okay, we're back to our curl and press. I'm going to keep my little weight for this one. Some kind of squat, some depth. It feels comfortable. Press. And squat and press. I'm going to pick up the pace a little. Round 2, but you can always slow it down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to my heavier weight for this bicep curl a little bit out to the side, which looks like so. Curl for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I did these in the other order last time, but that's okay. 7. We'll do all of them. 8. Not to confuse you. Last one. Now I am going to go back to my littler weights for the side. Raise lateral, raise. Arms to the side. 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have to be very high. It could be tiny. 6, 7. Push into your big toe, pinky toe, heel. Last 2. Reach the top of your head up. Last 1. Good. Now we got our wide squat and our little punchy. One elbow down and back, other arm out in front. So you could play with your speed here. And punch. And punch could be a little controlled twist. Maybe you turn and look. Nice. Last 2. Last 1. I'm going to keep my light weights, but you might go. Actually, I'm going to go heavier weights for triceps, I think. That felt pretty easy for me. Tricep, bend and straighten. 1, 2. So you can always change your mind, get heavier or lighter weights. 4, 5. Give a little squeeze at the back. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm babying this little funny business in my shoulder, so I am going to go back to my lighter weights for this fly, and I'll turn to the front for this one so you can see what I mean by beetle bug arms, DeLorean arms. Keeping that bend in my elbows, lifting, lowering. So I'm not doing external rotation or this kind of thing. It's not a bicep move. My elbow stays a little bit bent. You might soften your knees as you come down. Let's do 4 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades. This is the back, shoulder, upper back. Last 2. Last 1. We're in the home stretch. Ladies, can we do 1 more round of each thing? Let's do it. Squat and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going side, raise, lift and lower, letter T. 2, 3, 4. If you need to slow it down, go a little slower than me and we'll all catch up in the end. 7. I'm still controlling my weights. Coming down. Last 2. That's when I'm going back to my bigger weights for bicep. Curl. Maybe a little bend in your knees. Curl. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can move right along and still be in control of my weights. 8. Now I'm sweating. 9, 10. I'm going back to my lighter weights for this little punch move. This is a tiny muscle in the front of your shoulder. Elbows in. 1 arm punches. Last 1. Good job. We're going tricep. I am going to go back to my heavier for my tricep. Bend and straighten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last thing is our little fly. Going back to my lighter weights for this. Beetle bug arms. 1, 2. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. 5. This is upper back. 6, 7. It shouldn't hurt your shoulders. If it does, stop and ask me for help. Last 1. Whew. Okay, that was our upper body. We got to do a couple of our hammy things and then we're stretching. So let's start standing on your left leg. Zip everything up. Come back to that feeling. In fact, you could take your arms and squeeze them to the side, wide shoulders. Press into your feet, make fists. Reach the top of your head. Now keep that really organized position. Right leg lifts to the front and to the side and to the back and to the side and front and side and back. Good job. And side and front and side and back inside. Last round. Inside. Now let's do a couple of our little ronde jambes. I was missing those. I don't know if we did these last week. I don't remember. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now whatever direction you're going, reverse that direction. Circle and circle. And circle and circle. That's 2. That's 1. Now take your leg back. Keep it there. That's that position we were in for our single leg deadlift, but we're going to stay here and do hammy curl. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Breathe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold this next one and we're going to press. Push your foot back to the wall behind you or the ceiling. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold this position. Turn out and parallel and turn out and parallel. 3, 4. Whoa, don't fall over. 5, 6. Turn out and parallel. 7, 8, 9. Here's the last thing. Stretch both legs. Woo! Stretch your knees. Oh, my balance. Maybe lift your standing heel. One more big inhale. Whoa, come on down and rest. Shake out your legs. Get another sip of water if you need. Last thing. Hammy series side number 2. Button up your vest. Push down with your feet. Push out the top of your head. Leg to the front and the side. Now I'm on leg number 2. And back and side. I'm just kind of brushing the ground. This one too, you might need to come off your yoga mat and onto a carpet. Your mat is kind of sticking to your foot. This is 4. I think this is 4. Yeah, let's do your ronde jambe. Circle and circle and circle. Or if you're on a sticky mat, just take your foot a little bit off the ground so it can swing. Last 2. And reverse. Circle and a circle. Lift taller through your torso. That's 3. Just stay back on this last one. Tilt forward. Get yourself sorted out here so you can balance. We got hamstring curl. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. 3. We're doing 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep your knee bent. Here's 10. Push your foot back and back and back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stay back. Turn out and parallel. So your knee eyeball looks to the side and then looks at the ground. Oh, here's where my balance is going. 3, 4. Find one thing to look at and mash down into your standing foot. 7, 8. Keep it together if you can. Last 9, 10. Hold. Stretch both legs. Maybe lift your heel. Oh, one more big deep breath. Come on down. Let's play with our shoulder move we were working on. So this is sliding your elbows back. We're not doing any resistance today, but if you had the capability to attach a band to a wall or a door handle or something that was sturdy, you could do this with a band. So what I'm doing is reaching my arms out in front, squeezing my shoulder blades together to pull my elbows back, and then taking my hands up to that L shape and down. So I'm doing reach out. You can even let your shoulder blades reach forward. Squeeze them back in together. External rotation. So even with no resistance, this feels like some work. Forward, back, externally rotate. That's a really good one to do. If you get a little break from your desk. And then if you want to stay standing for your calf stretch, where's my little towel? Here it is. We'll do calf stretch, and then I'll give you the option to do hammy stretch standing or on the floor. Okay, you can bring one foot onto your squishy thing. If you have a squishy thing, rolled up towel, couch cushion, heel on the ground, and then maybe start to walk what was your back foot could eventually be your front foot. And you're in kind of a little lungey. And breathe. You might need your balance buddy here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Now you can bend your back knee a smidgy. I'll get your udder calf muscle. Okay, now you can switcheroo and do your udder leg. Toesies on your towel, heel down. This might be plenty, just staying right here, or you might walk your other foot forward. We'll do our hammy stretch. If you feel like your heart rate has come down and you want to lay on your back to do this, you certainly could. I'm just going to stand and show. You could hang on to your balance buddy again, or this could be a little balance exercise. Lift and lower. Now you could bring your leg out to the side. And then same thing, you can raise and lower. Point and flex. And then you could even come across your body like so. And this feels like it gets this lateral hip. And then you can switcheroo whenever you're ready. Leg number 2. Lift and lower or hold, whatever feels like a good thing. Yep, you could prop your leg up on a piece of furniture if that feels nice. Do a little pointy and a flexy. Well, I kind of like doing these standing every once in a while. And then you could bring your leg out to the side. I mean, it's nice to lay on the floor and be lazy too, you know. Maybe lift and lower. Okay, now you could either, again, you could come to the ground if you want, or you could stand for your quad stretch. Yeah, this to me is the hardest class that I teach. Hardest, like for me physically. Like I'm sweating and working. A little too much. Okay, now you can switcheroo. Okay, I'm going to come down for this. So speaking of hips, I'm going to do my 90-90. If you don't want to do this one, you could do pigeon or you could lay on your back. But I'm going to have my front knee 90-ish and my back knee 90-ish. Switcheroo whenever y'all ready. Leg number 2. All right, let us find our comfortable rest position, whatever that may be. You could lay down, you could sit, you could lay on your side, you could prop up your legs or your head. You've got something comfy to prop yourself up on. I'm going to sit on my bolster. And if you've got some more wiggling you want to do, you could wiggle a little bit if you feel like you're ready to be still. Now is your chance. Take a big inhale. Big exhale. And as you breathe in and out, just start to notice where your body is touching. The floor, the mat, the furniture. And you might even feel the texture of your clothes or the carpet or the mat. And then let all those spots that are touching something get heavier and heavier. Each inhale, you soften. Each exhale, your bones sink into the mat or the furniture. Inhaling, softening your belly, softening your ribs, softening your neck and shoulders. Exhaling, heavy pelvis, heavy head, heavy arms and legs.